Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, the hand was in like under a rock or something. Like, nope, not in this show.
Oh man, this is real Nadia, Secret of Blue Water.
Yeah.
Marie's family. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are, well, I don't know if I should say back. We are still doing Gundam seed stuff, but now we're Gundam seed Destiny. If you're clicking this because you specifically liked Destiny, we have watched Seed, the first season stuff, so go back and watch that. Otherwise, it's the new stuff. I obviously don't have any notes because YouTube is still catching up on our original watch through. Hasn't even seen the singles lessons have seen us. Wow. That was a lot of S words that I did not say at all. Just a lot of that's gonna be great for the filter. Anyway, yeah. Hasn't caught up to the movies Lessons has seen. Otherwise, it's a bunch of Justin and me still reacting to the main show. If you want to see the actual stuff, it's up on Patreon. Patreon spiel goes here. Anyway.
And so calling on all Gundam pilots.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate too, because that deal is off, but it's on a bunch of videos that's already uploaded. Well, I mean, technically, it still exists, the calling all Gundam pilots thing, in that we record 2 at a time, and I put 2 up on Patreon at a time. So, technically, still not a lie. But yeah, my point was there's not a lot to go over here because technically we've kind of already talked about a bunch of it in the ranking video. We don't have anything new to add. I guess I did think about this just before we started recording of actually adding the Astray characters to the board because you never know. They could be related somehow to some character that we don't know yet. You know, a name drop could happen, so I'll do that eventually. Otherwise, the board is as it was the last time we recorded, so nothing new there. What's the last thing you remember happening?
Well, the Zaft wanted to blow up the Earth, basically. Well, blow up parts of the Earth, but I guess eventually they would have blown up most of the surface of the Earth. But that got destroyed. What's his name? Roach? Char clone. He died.
Well, there's been a long debate that I've had during the show that there's no specific Char clone. Specifically, like Mu Laflaga has elements of Char. Like, you know how Char is known for destroying a number of battleships at the Battle of Loom.
Battle Loom.
Yeah, where he gets the name Red Comet. And Mu Laflaga earns the name the Hawk of Endymion for destroying a number of battleships at a fight in, I guess, Endymion.
I mean, yeah. But considering how they're related, it kind of fits, I guess.
I don't know. One just wears a mask. Otherwise, he isn't really doing the same conniving shit that Char is up to. The element of what I described before is they cut everyone's characteristics up into like pieces of paper, put them into a hat, and it's gonna 3 each. It felt like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather meant more so the after episode thing that we watched.
Everybody getting together with their assigned counterpart. Yeah. And the peace negotiations are supposed to be going on between Zaft and the Earth Alliance post-war.
Well, Eileen Canaver, and I don't know who her Zaft counterpart. Well, actually, she is Zaft. I don't know who her Earth counterpart is.
Yeah, we don't have a counterpart. And Arthur and what's her name? I always say Kagula.
I don't know. You're always talking about her mother.
Yeah. It always mixes me up with that name. They get together and then
Kagaliatha, by the way, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Yamato and the girl you hate.
Kira Yamato, you mean?
Kira, yeah. And what's her name get together? So
Lacus Klein. Like, yeah, it's easier just to remember them all by their full names, so that way you're never confused.
I mean, there are a lot of names, and it was pretty. I mean, I can recognize the characters when I see them on screen, but there's so many names.
See, I got face blindness when it comes to anime sometimes. especially when you have like very not a broad
Similar
spectrum of
Yeah.
face palettes.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of same face syndrome. In fact, I even mentioned that one character looked like a femme or like a gender swap version of Kira.
I think
Like,
I have less of a problem with the faces in this show, only so when it comes to the admirals or the captains, basically Earth Alliance military, because they all wear the same white uniform. In which case, it's like, okay, you have a different face, and I recognize you from the show, but I don't know if I know you from Luna 2. I don't know if I know you from the Evil Admiral conference. I don't remember if you were, like, on the side with... Ooh, now I'm actually forgetting a name. Our Blue Cosmos leader.
Yeah. Azrael?
Azrael, yeah. I don't know if you were on the bridge with Azrael. Like, I don't know if you were on the bridge with, Oh, God, now I'm just forgetting people's names. Thankfully, they are the people's names I just told you I would forget, the admirals.
Yeah, conveniently so it doesn't matter.
But you don't remember this one. Well, I think maybe you saw it. Marius, he's the admiral that lands on the ship that you said is a pretty good guy because he has the speech with Kira.
Yeah, and then he gets blown up.
Yeah. Anyway.
And tries to save the civilians. But the civilians get blown up too.
Well, yeah, because he makes them evacuate the ship, thinking that his ship is going to get blown up, which it does. Because it's falling into the atmosphere. Same as... Now I'm having... everybody, fuck it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't remember anyone's names.
Yeah.
Zelman, that's his name. So it's the other captain opposite of Frederick. When Frederick has to go back and take Rao back to the plants to answer to the council for the destruction of Heliopolis, Zelman is the captain who then carries the other enemy Gundams into battle. And then he's the one that gets stuck going into the atmosphere and like gets destroyed too. He's one of the two captains that gets saluted by the Gundam pilots for dying in front of them. Alright, well, again, not much else to go over. So that was the recap, essentially, of what we remember from happening last time. Assumedly, a stray happened at some point during the show. Unsure when. I presume it happened after the end of Seed, possibly before Destiny. So, well,
but it's weird because it almost has a sort of Gunpla style feeling to it, where these are characters that are aware of technology and aspects of this universe, but the way they act seems completely like, oh, there's a sale of parts for this. We're doing this. We are from this faction that nobody has mentioned before, right? So maybe those factions get mentioned here now that they're,
Well, I mean, the same way that like Rao introduces us to the whole, genetics people that used to live on this space station that's been abandoned this whole time, which is like elements of the world building that exist beyond the periphery of what we've seen.
The main characters,
And there's also the element that they could have just, not been invented. They just could have formed after the events of Seed itself. And that, we have the fallout of this giant war where many people died. There's a bunch of debris floating around. Maybe they are just like in-universe gunplaying things. I think it's what I said when we were watching it, because of the whole his hand is the head of another Gundam thing, and then it turns out no, he's just holding it from the inside. And that was disappointing. I thought I would have preferred it if he was like Voltroning it. His hand was a head.
But it was a cool use of it anyway.
Yeah,
for what it lasted,
Yeah, because it was a Boosie head. I don't know how you say those. It was essentially Walt Field's head because he's the only one we've seen that had the double-sided one.
Yes, yeah.
All right, well, I guess anything else you want to add? Final thought here?
I heard that this is not as good as the original Seed, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Oh, okay. I'm going to add on to that that I've heard that this will be my thing. Apparently, there was a comment a while back that said, "If I liked this thing, you're going to like Gundam Seed Destiny." So,
but I don't like 7, Macross 7. I haven't seen any of this, so I have no opinion.
Oh, that is it. That was from a Macross 7 comment. Now I remember. Yeah.
So I have no opinion on it. So, I mean, the only thing I've seen is what we've seen the compilation movie. So, and I like those in spite that they were pretty rushed. So there's no reason why I should dislike it, but then there's no reason for me to like it other than, hey, giant robots,
All right, well, I guess the only way to find out is by jumping on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
And we start the show with somebody who definitely needed a killing.
It's a recap. I guess that's why they did the time. Which I guess at least lets us know what the date of this action was. As I mentioned, these people were added to the HD remaster because they were in an episode. I don't remember if they were in the movie, but they were in an episode for like 5 seconds, specifically showing them running down this path. I can't wait till we see that one girl that you excessively rated highly on the character ranking.
Wow. Taking the sound files right from Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty sure this is the scene where we see them in the show. I mean, by that, they're crouching because shit's happening.
Yeah. As dumb as this is, we know he survives because there's a scene of him later graduating from a zaft academy. And he survived because he went for the phone.
He survived because he landed on the soft concrete.
Yeah.
Rather than the dirt, just a little bit behind.
So he's a coordinator?
He's an orb, so he could technically be either or.
Yeah.
I specifically pointed out he survived. I have no idea of his family. Here it is.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, the hand was in like under a rock or something. Like, nope. Not in this show.
Oh, man, this is real Nadia, Secret of Blue Water.
Yeah.
Marie's family.
Holy shit.
Yeah, when it comes to Marie's family, instead of a sister, it was a dog. Well, no wonder he joined Zaft. That was an Earth Alliance mobile suit that blew them up. Okay, but she's got to take some of the blame for that.
Who?
The sister.
Why?
Legitimately, if she didn't pull against to try and go get her phone, he wouldn't have gone off to run after it. Also, they would have gone further down the road than the explosion.
Well, I think the explosion would have just killed them anyway, all three of them.
No. I'm saying that they wouldn't have been there. They would have kept moving along. The explosion would have happened behind them somewhere.
This song feels very genetic.
I'm not going to make any judgments based on our first two recordings. I do that all the time. I'm going to wait till I edit these and I hear it on my own, and I'll come back with a note. Yes, my boy! You know, very specifically, I said I didn't want to make any notes about the family. I only saw them in the one shot, and all of my pictures of them had them from that image, so... Very clearly, like I said, there's a later scene where a bunch of the people we've seen in the opening graduate from the Zaft Academy, so I know that he at least survived that encounter to go to the academy.
But none
that
of
one
those
on the
them
far
are...
left there kind of looks like a Zaku.
1年半にわたった地球プラント間の戦いはヤキンドゥエ中域戦をもってようやくの終結を見た。やがて双方の合意のもと、かつての悲劇の地ユニウス7において締結された条約は今後の相互理解努力と平和とを誓い、世界は再び。
Yeah, I'm also bad with voices. It's not Marius, is it?
Of course, I do know that
Ceremonial stuff, huh?
yeah, I don't think that's gonna last long. Who is she though?
New characters.
Yeah.
Or unless she's the girl. Sorry, I don't want to interject too much.
Oh, a new ship too.
Well, yeah, I mean, they already made a different one before. The Domination? Dominion. The Dominion.
All these guys are Zaft. Yeah.
Well, yeah. These are Zaft uniforms. Zaft uniforms are based on color.
Who is this guy?
He was in the opening. Sorry, was that you, Atherin, wearing the sunglasses?
Yeah.
服はそれでいいのか？ドレスも一応は持ってきているよな。
なんだっていいよ。いいだろうこのままで。
Yeah, what's the difference if I wear a dress or a formal uniform? Really, it's the same thing.
わかってるだろう。バカみたいに気取ることもないが、軽く見られてもダメなんだ。
No, she's not wearing a military uniform.
非公式とはいえ、君は今はオーブの国家元首なんだからな。
Because we know that Orb's leadership passed down by a bloodline, right? Your dad was the king of Orb. Not like he had a council of elected figures.
Oh? They know each other, I guess? Or does Arthur have a thing for blondes?
I don't know who she was.
そんな日にこんなところでとは恐れ入る。
ないないかつ緊急にと会見をお願いしたのはこちらなのです。アスハ代表。プラント本国へ赴かれるよりは目立たぬだろうというデュランダル議長のご配慮もあってのことと思われますが。
I wonder who else is going to be, though. Because Orb didn't represent anybody. Orb was neutral until they got attacked. So who's representing Earth? The Earth Alliance, rather. Or is this just between Zaft and Orb?
いや、議長にもご多忙のところお時間をいただきありがたく思う。
Are they related?
No.
They look similar.
Who looks similar? Some of the blonde women?
No.
You said that during this.
The
These
chairman.
two. Yeah, no, these two don't look
Chairman.
similar at all.
まだまだいただいて
Chairman and Arthur.
This was Atherin. I thought you meant Kigali. You had to be more specific.
それも下級なご用件とは一体どうしたことでしょうか。我が方の大使の伝えるところではだいぶ複雑な案件のご相談ということですが。
私にはそう複雑とも思えんのだがな。だが未だにこの案件に対する帰国の明確なご返答が得られない。
What matter? Tell
やは
us.
り複雑な問題なのか。我が国は再三再四、かの大武線の折に流出した我が国の技術と人的資源のそちらでの軍事利用を即座にやめていただきたいと申し入れている。
What would it be, though? They already had mobile suits before anybody else. It would be the Alliance that's putting the orb shit to use.
何やってんだあれ。浮かれてるバカの演出じゃねえの。お前もバカをやれよ、バカをさ。
なのになぜ未だ何らかのご回答
I don't know who
さえ
they
いた
are.
だけない。
I have the feeling that we're gonna have an explosion pretty soon. Oh, okay.
大丈夫？
Well, as you do when you're in anime.
Yeah. Go for the boob grab.
胸掴んだなお前。このラッキースケベ。
違う。おいこら。
Of course, we have the future.
I imagine it's gonna be a thing where he, like, listens to
Oh, that's
the
a lot of
phone
art.
to hear his sister's voice every so often.
姫は先の戦争で
Perhaps.
自らモビルスーツに乗って戦われた勇敢なお方だ。また最後まで圧力に屈せず自国の理念を貫かれた王部の志士宇住様の後継者でもいらっしゃる。
Based at the end of the day, it's not Zaft that blew up Orb.
世界情勢の中
It was Earth the Alliance that blew up Orb. Well, I mean, Orb blew up Orb, but you
お分かり
know.
のことと思いますが
Yeah, but they.
Earth
yeah,
Alliance was
if
the
you-
one attacking
自国
them.
の理念を守り抜く。
But if you want to maintain the peace, and they keep militarizing,
他国の侵略を許さず他国の争いに介入しない。
yeah, those guys are gonna sabotage or steal something.
それは我々も
Is it gonna be the reverse where they steal these suits instead of stealing Gundams?
だが力なくばそれは叶わない。
It does seem like this is just gonna be our main characters on the other side were Earth Alliance focused until they went neutral. Then we might start from Zaft and go neutral.
その姫というのはやめていただけないか。
これは失礼しました。アスハ代表。
Yeah, this guy is playing a dangerous game. He wants to restart the war.
しかしならばなぜ
You don't know that.
何を怖がってらっしゃるのです。あなたは
Literally nothing has happened yet. This is all like words.
王部が我々に条約違反の軍事供与をしていると。だがそんな事実は無論ない。かの王部防衛戦の折、難民となった王部の同胞たちを我らが温かく迎え入れ。
And that explains why this guy joins the SAF Academy, because that's where they won, the refugees.
Oh, also, he wants revenge on Earth Alliance. The most likely people to do that. What is the stolen card shit that we got from Season 1 that didn't go anywhere?
ぎる力はまた争いを呼ぶ。
Yeah, it's a repeat of the first story. Called it.
Just with a lot more gun kata.
Yeah.
It literally is gun kata, by the way. You watch the back throughout the name of the movie.
力が必要なのです。
スティング。よし、行くぞ。
Oh, I didn't know Sting was in this movie.
Oh, these are also Gundams.
Well, yeah, you already called it. How are you surprised they're Gundams?
Not that. Well, I thought they were gonna steal, Plaf. Yeah, zaft technology.
Yeah, Zaft made its own Gundams.
Yeah.
They stole the Gundams, used the knowledge that they got from stealing them, and then made Freedom and what was it, Justice?
Yeah.
Anyways, and the two Super Gundams were Zaft made.
Quattro. Okay.
Rababa winner. Yep, she's a coordinator. I like the OST so far.
警報どうした6番ハンガーなんだ
Fuck those Jins.
I mean, Jins are always gonna be cannon fodder, basically, for the Gundams.
カオス、ガイア、アビス。まずハンガーを潰す。
I had 2 out of 3 evil names.
お前は左。
分かった。
Oh, now we have transforming.
That way I had transforming before. Atheron's Gundam was a transforming Gundam. Granted, it transformed into a claw machine game, but
なんだと
新型。あれはガンダム。
That's what she was warning you about, dude. But you're like, oh no, there'll always be conflict. Blah blah blah. Like,
to
yeah,
be fair,
okay.
there was conflict. Arguably, they would have stolen Jins if they hadn't stolen the Gundams.
姫をシェルターにエヴァンスは
I'd also have to think she was warning them about armed conflict and not fucking terrorists.
Well, one could argue that the war started because of an act of terrorism by Blue Cosmos that destroyed one of the Plavs, which led Sav to
Plants,
believe
by
that it
the
was
way.
Earth plants. I'm confusing. That then led
I'm
Sav
just
to
saying
say,
that you're
well,
saying
these
like
guys are...
she's super right about anything. This has nothing to do with anything. These are fucking terrorists. And terrorists can come from fucking anywhere.
Yeah, but somebody always says support the terrorists.
Not always.
I bet somebody supported these guys.
Yeah, I'm not saying that nobody's supporting these guys. You're just saying, we're saying that somebody always supports terrorism. Well, not always. Terrorism is a grassroots movement, if anything.
Well, it's a series of tactics, so. Ah.
Yeah, he's gonna do the thing that I keep saying that I need Amuro to do to prove that he's actually good. Which is to get in a non-Gundam. The thing that I always say that proved to me that Zex was a good pilot before anything in Gundam Wing. He gets into a Leo and fights a Gundam and gets away, essentially winning the fight too. I guess the confusing bit for this ship to be here. Well, wait, that's the one that Kigali came in, right?
No,
No,
this one is being developed by Zaft.
Then that's more confusing then, because that's one based on a ship design made by Orb, refined by the Earth Alliance. So why does Zaft have a model of it?
Because Orb has been sharing technology with Zaft.
No, they're implying that they've gotten like the fruits of their technology from like the end of the war, not that they've been sharing it. The same way, I guess, that they could imply that by saying, "Hey, you stole the Gundams that we made, and then reverse engineered the technology to make your own Gundams." Of all the places I wish you would die in, this isn't one of them. It even has like the breathing tube things that Zaku's have.
Because it is. That's what it is. It's a Zaku.
No, the Zaku equivalent for Zaft is the Jin. This is like a new model.
Yeah, this guy's has some combat experience. I like the heat axe. I always liked it. Made a little more sense than the beam saber.
This is actually our first beam sabers too.
Well, technically no, because
the other ones were made differently. These are straight up beam sabers. The other ones had like a curved shape around it, and the cutting beam was between the two arms.
Yeah, we're doing the combining.
Great. Sigh. Ironic.
It's a cool design.
See, that's the old style blade.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what we had before, and then these guys have actual sabers, beam sabers.
Sure, because the cat things had the sabers that came out of the mouth, so those were sabers.
I'm not counting those things. But I appreciate that we're literally that we are. Well, it's the same as the first ending of the original show, just with different characters. Anyway, the same reason that you think Kigali is right, I think the other guy is right.
What? That they're always going to need power?
Yeah, because there's always going to be conflict. Yeah, and then they got proven right. A bunch of fucking terrorists showed up and attacked them. If they didn't have the power to put them down, then they would just run ripshot over this whole place.
I mean, I don't think they do have the power because now they have the Gundams and there's only one Gundam to stop them, so.
Yeah, well, it's three things in one, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that all depends on how strong it actually is. I'm going to look away from that. I don't want to see that. But it all depends, because remember, we had the original Gundams, and then we had the 3-time strength Gundam show up that could defeat the other Gundams. So
but also the reason why the terrorists were able to do what they do is because of the very power they needed.
Hold on, we need to see this.
Could be another clone?
偽りだったわけではない。だがそれは追えば逃げてゆく幻か。次回機動戦士ガンダムシードデスティニー。戦いを呼ぶもの。新たなる力。飛べ。
Well, that's his name, Impulse?
I don't know. Anyway, continue with your point that I'm obviously going to argue against.
Of course. The reason why the terrorists were able to do what they did is because they literally took the very weapons that they were using supposedly to prevent being overwhelmed by the eternal conflict and turned them against themselves. So they literally fed the conflict by arming the side or allowing themselves to arm the side that they had it.
They didn't allow them to do anything. And the defeat of your argument is that there are always weapons. It's not, if they didn't steal the Gundams, they would have stole something else. If they didn't have any mobile suits, they would have stole guns. They will always be something for them to use against them. So just the fact that they had Gundams doesn't mean that they were wrong to have them in the first place because somebody came by and used them. So you might as well just blame the quarry for having rocks when someone gets stoned. People will use whatever is available to them to hurt each other.
Yeah, but I would have given them the best weapons available if possible to do so.
Look. You're always going to have the best weapons around because you want your soldiers to have the best weapons so that they don't fucking die in a conflict. Blame the people who motivated the terrorists to do this thing, not the people who they stole the weapons from. Those weapons weren't for them to attack people with in the first place. They went out of the bounds to attack people, kill people, steal the weapons. It's like...
Yeah, but it's because of
you're like
escalation.
blaming Zaft for Blue Cosmos, essentially.
Well, no, that's...
No, essentially
that's
it is. Because, well, we don't know if these people are fucking Blue Cosmos or not, but I'm saying you're blaming the victims for the people attacking them.
Would they be Blue Cosmos if they are coordinators?
I mean, they could be. Could be self-hating. You never know. Until it's revealed. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying
they simply are people who know a code to reprogram the Gundam so they could use them.
I'm saying that they're obviously people that hate these people. So I'm just using the examples that we already know from the show. So you're basically blaming the people that are arming themselves for the people attacking them. I mean, you obviously never liked Zaft, I feel like.
I am more sympathetic than Saf now than I was when I was starting watching the movies because Earth Alliance proved to be such a dickwats.
Well, I think it's like movie 3 that shows you all the shit, but I feel like there was a bunch of scenes earlier on in the show where you see the background of where coordinators come from, and like I keep likening it to the Animatrix, that Unimatrix part of the Animatrix, where you see how people treated the robots before.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame the coordinators for defending themselves. That's for sure. Just like I wouldn't blame Sion for defending themselves or wanting freedom. The reason why I don't like Sion is that they took it too damn far.
Well, again, that's the difference here, I believe, is that there is no Operation British equivalent to Zaft. At worst, the Heliopolis thing, but the difference between Operation British and the Heliopolis attack is that Orb was providing the Earth Alliance with Gundams. They were giving them weapons, and Zaft attacked Heliopolis to prevent that from happening. The people that nuked us, we don't need them to have Gundams, the undefeatable weapons. You know? Also, it was proof that Orb isn't as neutral as they claimed to be. And although, I guess technically at the end of the day, Heliopolis was a Orb place and not even Earth Alliance, so they weren't even attacking.
Mm-hmm.
And the end of the day argument that I keep making is that they didn't go there with the intent to destroy Heliopolis. It was, in fact, the resistance to their operation that created the thing.
Ironically, you're not going to give up when you're under attack.
Well, no, I'm saying the resistance to it. The difference between the movies and the show. I brought up when we were watching the movie that it was weird that Zaft had bombers doing runs in there to destroy shit, because that didn't happen in the show. In the show, what destroys Heliopolis is Kira firing the super weapon at the Zaft mobile suits that are flying around and missing them and blowing up Heliopolis in the process. Kira counterattacking is the one that's destroying everything. Because even Rao makes a statement, my god, I made a weapon that powerful. It's like, wow, we didn't. Yeah, so it's really their defense of Heliopolis that destroys Heliopolis.
Which doesn't make sense until Rao tells her he's a clone of La Flaga's dad, but he didn't make Kira. Did
What do you
he?
mean?
It
What
was
doesn't
his
make
other-
sense?
Because he says, "I made a weapon." So that's
No, he's
Rao
referring
saying,
to he says it immediately after Kira fires like the beam cannon thing from the Gundam. So he's referring to the Gundam as being a weapon more powerful, because nothing that they have Zaft has blows out the side of a colony.
Yeah, I guess so. But then why would he say that? Doesn't make any sense. He didn't make any weapons, did he?
Did you mishear me? I don't know what's going on here.
No.
I don't know why you're I don't know why you're confused. Rao
Did Rao
says
repeat-
they made something so powerful.
I understood. He said I made them.
No, that's why I said, did you mishear me? Because I don't understand why we were getting so confused.
Yeah.
Because he certainly wouldn't have been referring to Kira, because also in the episodes later on, even in the movie even, he said, "Oh, I heard your name, but I didn't realize it was actually you." So even back then, he wasn't thinking about Kira, or he wouldn't have even known Kira was in the Gundam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why I was like, I misheard you, because like, what would he say that? That doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, no, I'm just saying that Zaft is a lot more understandable than Zeon, because we know that Zeon's coming from a place of hatred from the Zabi family, hatred and control, where Zaft starts from not a hatred, but a revenge. Like, you know,
I mean, fear. I would say they come from a position of fear.
Well, no, you get a lot of conversations about, oh, hey, why are you here fighting? Or why are you fighting? And it's always Janus 7. Oh, I had a loved one at Janus 7. Atherin, his mom died at Janus 7.
I mean, those are the individuals, but I think Zaft as a whole is fighting ultimately out of a sense of fear because of the persecution, and because they, Blue Cosmos is willing to kill them all. Right? That's like, well, they're gonna, again, just like the argument I made about, the impact of Operation British. If you're willing to kill us all, either we surrender or we kill you back before you try it again, right? It becomes a binary choice. It's like, I have to. If your opening move is genocide, my counter move.
Well, to be fair, their opening move wasn't genocide. Their opening move was to take out the headquarters, and we've already had the debate of if Island Ifish hadn't broken up, if Island Ifish had hit its target directly, if the worldwide devastation may have been less. We've already had that debate. I'm not asking to have it again. I'm just saying that now a debate, not even now a debate. I'm not trying to have it again. The debate would be intent. And if the intent was to cut off the head of the Federation, or genocide, and I think it was a targeted attack.
They killed everybody in a side.
No, I'm not talking about the side though. I'm talking about
and then turn into a
Jaburo.
Mm-hmm.
If Jaburo is this massive underground military bunker, and they're like, "Fuck bunker busters, we're just gonna use this big ass colony." Now, I'm not saying they're not guilty of war crimes, but I'm just saying that the difference between we're going to kill all the humans on Earth and I'm going to kill everybody here is two different things. Yeah. Also, not talking about Universal Century Gundam. You want all of those debates? Go watch those episodes that we record. Otherwise, here, again, my end point on this particular topic is that Zaft is a lot more on the understandable side of things.
Yeah, more sympathetic.
Yeah, because we've obviously made one side full of racists. I don't think you get that as much in the movie, that when Waltfield they try to assassinate him early on, that they very much are yelling anti-coordinator shit. It's not that, oh, you're here ruling the country and imposing Zaft's will upon us. Kill that fucking coordinator is basically what they're saying. Yeah. So, yeah. It's also, again,
we do later get a scene where there's a lot of coordinators that get, murdered. There was a coordinator that was this great pianist, and she gets assassinated.
I think those were likened to the flashback episodes that I say you missed from the show, where they show us the early history of it, because they were just killing coordinators in the street.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they were implying to that one, because I think those weren't things that we saw in the show. I don't remember them anyway. No, actually, never mind. They only appeared during Rao's conversations. They didn't appear during the flashback episodes where we actually see more of it. So I'm very heavily on Zaft's side. So when you say, "Oh, they're guilty of this thing," it's like, no, I'm just very defensive of them. But again, I don't blame the country for arming itself after a war. I mean, if they didn't impose these like sanctions upon themselves, like Japan post World War II, where like, oh, you can't have a standing military and you can have this much of a defense force where you have this many ships or this much of a air force, that sort of thing. If there wasn't like these kind of sanctions imposed upon, but who would, right? Because they didn't nobody won the war. They just came out of it and negotiated.
They could have negotiated a climb down and a dearmament treaty.
Yeah.
But then apparently they didn't.
Yeah, sort of like a Cold War situation. Glasnost. A Glasnost situation.
Earth Alliance was Earth Alliance, but it's not Federation.
Yeah, in this show it's Alliance. In every other show it's Federation. Actually,
putting pressure on Orb, accusing them of giving the technology to Zaft to rearm.
I don't think that's what's being implied.
I mean, I think that's what it was.
They're claiming that Zaft is using their technology, not that they've been given the technology. Because again, you got to remember how much post-war, goddamn, words can't come in. How much post-war gathering of debris is happening to the amount that we can reverse engineer these bits from these broken mobile suits and have basically the equivalent of Zaft mobile suits now, right? Because Zaft mobile suits are more advanced than the Earth Alliance ones, I would think. Because we've only seen one model of Earth Alliance mobile suit, but Zaft made mobile suits first. They've had much more time to R&D this shit. They have a bunch of variants for tons of different conditions. When the Zaft got the Gundams, they reverse engineered them and made better Gundams. They're just better at mobile suits than anybody else.
Except for
Orb. No, because again, Orb made the Gundams, Zaft got the Gundams, and then made better Gundams. It looks like Orb's mobile suits might be on the same level as Jin's, which is the base Zaft mobile suit. So I don't know, but even then, Zaft has better Jins.
Yeah,
I mean that was the entire impetus of the first couple of episodes of the first show, is that you saw Zaft shows up in the mobile suits, and then the Earth Alliance, or I guess technically just Orb's defense. I don't know. Every time, nobody stands up to the mobile suits. It's essentially the Xeon side of the Battle of Loom. It's like, what do we fucking do here?
Can't hit them.
Well, it's just fighter jets versus mobile suits. It's very ineffective. Well, I mean, that's what you saw Mu Laflaga show up with his fighter jet that has the four. I keep calling them gun bits because that's what I'm familiar with calling them. The four little gun bit things flying around. That's basically the best that they had. All right, well, final thought?
I like the first episode. Pretty strong overall.
Yeah.
Lots of action. Got reintroduced to. It was effective, and we got introduced to new characters, and horrifically so. So we got the motivation straight our way. We got reintroduced to old characters as well, as in where they now kind of situation, right? And I did call it that it was going to be a remake of they're going to steal the Gundams, right? That was predictable, but still useful, right? A little exaggerated with the gun katha, especially if everybody's supposed to be coordinators, right? I guess these are special coordinators. Third generation, fourth generation coordinators.
Well, that would be problematic. The thing about coordinators, and I don't think the show the movie expresses. No, it couldn't have, because it was a conversation had between Siegel and Patrick, and Siegel had no voice lines in the entire movie. The thing about coordinators is that they don't have a lifespan. That doesn't ring right. They are having a problem with birth rates, where every generation of coordinator has difficulty having more coordinator children. So that was a major concern, and Patrick's like, I don't fucking care. And Siegel was like, we have to take care of this, or there's not going to be any of us left.
Well, that would actually spawn what I'm trying to say, that...
Well, no, I'm just commenting toward you were saying third or fourth generation coordinators. I think we were already at the third generation, or that was like Patrick and Siegel's generation. And now the new kids are basically... I think the indication was this might be the final generation of coordinator.
Unless they get, with naturals, right? That's
that was a theory I was having during the show before we got to like the Rao explaining shit thing, was that whatever the new thing was, that maybe it would create a coordinator and a natural at the same time, thus explaining the Kira Kigali thing.
But then turned out to both.
I mean, we don't know. Kigali might be something different, at the end of the day.
What I was trying to imply was...
But the idea that you would spawn a coordinator and a natural at the same time, and that would be our pet method towards peace, that we're born together, we have to learn to live together, sort of thing.
I mean, sibling rivalries, when your sibling is stronger, could make things worse, Yeah,
but I mean, it would be like blood tie, But I mean, it turned out not to be true anyway, but I'm just indicating towards theories that you never got to hear.
Yeah, no, but I would say no, that they would keep experimenting with children to try to fix this and get stronger coordinators. Like, okay, you have, like, in the third generation, you go and take on those genes and even make them better. Kind of like in Halo, like the Spartans, like your Spartan 1, Spartans 2, Spartan 3, that kind of situation, right? They kept perfecting the coordinators. So these guys who are fighting other coordinators, because everybody in SAF is supposed to be coordinators, right? They were able to do all that shit because they are improved somehow, right?
I think the indicator is that that's not happening because it's not like a matter of we can keep making things better, more so that the more we have fucked with our genes, the worse they've gotten, and we're just breaking down over time.
I mean, unless you go back to the artificial womb, which does guarantee.
I think that they're already doing that.
Yeah, so
I think it's that they're fucking with, or I guess that whatever the basis that they're using that made the first generation coordinators, they've done something to it that doesn't allow them to reproduce it, or that they're making facsimile after facsimile. A copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
Because again, the conversation that Siegel and Patrick had was that this is a problem that we haven't found a solution for. And then Patrick is more of, well, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if we all get fucking killed in battle. So we have to win the war first and then deal with this other thing. And then Siegel, as I keep mentioning, was the peace guy. Well, if we finish the fight, we can deal with this faster. Before there's none of us left, I guess. It was like a 5-minute part of an episode. But they covered that, and they didn't cover it in the movie. The movie was more about the war than it was the fact that we have birth rate decline at 3 generations deep now.
Yeah.
Well, that has been the first episode of Destiny. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?